Hey, good afternoon, Justice Warriors. I am here on Friday. It's almost 2 o'clock on the 24th of February, and I'm just going to do a quick cliff notes of my morning live. And everything I say is simply my opinion. It's simply for the sake of conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and learn something. And I make my videos specifically for YouTube. We all know that YouTube is an entertainment platform. So, on that, please hit that thumbs up, share, subscribe if you'd be so kind. I feel like the most important thing I need to say today, right now, is my opinion about the Idaho 4 and about what was going on in the hours before the quadruple unaliving. So we all probably remember some early reports of law enforcement saying that the girls were at the Corner Club bar and that there was a lot of attention being paid to them by dudes, right? Because they're such pretty girls. Of course, it's a small town and they're beautiful sorority girls, and there was a lot of attention being paid to them. I think that's key. There was a lot of attention being paid to them, not just at the bar, but also in the video footage that we all saw of the grub truck, right? So it's my opinion and my belief that those girls were being tracked, that they were being trailed, and they had tabs kept on them throughout the night. That's my opinion. And I think it's real significant because they became unalive that night. So, anyway, I think that there were multiple parties tracking the girls and that they kind of covered for that early in the case by saying, oh, there was a lot of attention being paid to them at the bar. Just my opinion. Anyway, moving right along, in my earlier video, I started out by sharing a little bit more about me personally than I normally share about my kids and just what makes me tick and that kind of thing. Um, I also was referring to a J is for Justice that I watched this morning that I found extremely interesting. It was kind of a deep dive on that Sergeant Dan Hargraves that had been employed with Pullman PD. He sexually assaulted an 18-year-old freshman back in 2018. He was arrested and went to trial, and it was a mistrial because there was a hung jury, and the poor girl didn't have the ability, she didn't feel like, to press forward and do it all over again in a new trial. So they said they couldn't do anything then because all they had was his DNA and a bunch of cell phone pings, which, wait a second, isn't that exactly what they're building the whole case right now against the Idaho 4 alleged unaliver on DNA and cell phone pings? Okay. Well, and there's no victims in that case that are going to testify, are there? Unless, I guess, if you consider the survivors as victims, which honestly they may or may not be. I know that sounds a little harsh at this point in time, but the whole story is not adding up. It's really not. And it needs to. It needs to add up. So I wanted to give a big shout out to the channel, J is for Justice. I think she does a kick-ass job. And I also wanted to pay special attention to the fact that the way this property is designed, where the 1122 King Road residence is it's sort of like in a fishbowl. It's right in the middle of this fishbowl area that they refer to as Fratlantis. So that whole little section of campus, even though it's right off campus, it's like right across the street, barely off campus. It's called Fratlantis, and that residence is right in the middle of Fratlantis. So why I'm bringing that up is because it is right in the thick of it. There's a lot of eyes and a lot of ears right there. So there's also a lot of eyes and ears inside the residence just with technology, just with cell phones and neighbors ring doorbell cams, maybe smartwatches for some of these students, maybe Siri and the one that begins with an A. I can't say it because she'll be all up in my business. Anyway, the technology very likely recorded everything that happened that night, that morning of November 13th, 2022. And there could even be live feed video cameras in there. I know that people don't like to talk about it, but it seems very probable or possible that these sororities and these individuals may have had OnlyFans pages. And I mentioned it in my video, I've mentioned it before. I don't recommend Googling sororities and OnlyFans because it's pretty obnoxious what you see. And I don't believe everything that I see on Google, but it's a thing according to La Google. All right. So, um, it really upsets me and makes me suspicious when something happens, like, say, a SWAT team incident a month after a quadruple horror story, like what happened there in Moscow, and within minutes or hours, like really, really early on, law enforcement says it's not related. Really? There's no way on earth you could know that so early on. And when law enforcement says that too quick, it makes me question it. If they were to say something along the lines, if it doesn't appear to be any connection, just that simple, it doesn't appear to be connected, would be a lot more believable, in my opinion. So when they say knee jerk reaction right out of the gate, it's not connected, there's nothing connecting the two, it makes me think something might be getting hidden. What is the backstory? So, there's also the eye in the sky. I don't know how many people are familiar with that, but there is technology that is in real time seeing what is going on, and it is used in trials very rarely. It will be used in trials probably more commonly, but a lot of people are very well aware of the eye in the sky. A lot of people aren't. So I just wanted to bring that to people's attention. I also wanted to question if there might have been a police officer, one or more, that was actually stalking somebody in that house, like Maddie. I think it's possible. So, the incident that happened in Pullman and how these two towns and the three police departments are all related, I think is very significant in this case. So somebody in my chat asked me to do like a crazy board with that. So I'm going to try to provide that over the weekend. I'll see if I can figure it out to do it electronically, or if not, then I'll just do it with yarn or something. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me and have a great weekend. Take really good care of yourself. Make sure you stay hydrated, eat well, exercise. Even more important than exercising is getting your rest. A lot of people don't realize that. Your rest is the most important thing for your physical health and your mental health and your longevity. Make sure you get your nutrition, your high protein, your high produce intake. Twice as many veggies as fruit is a really good way to go. Um, Eat, pray, love, I like to say. Do your stretches and get fresh air and sunshine. Be kind to people around you. Be sure that you don't allow anyone to treat you with disrespect or lack of kindness. It's extremely important for your well being. So, peace out. Thanks so much for watching and hope to see you on the next one. Have a great weekend.